The European Union produces more than 2 billion tons of waste every year. To reduce its volume and environmental impact, the European Union has set ambitious recycling and landfill targets. The aim is to promote the transition to a more sustainable circular economy model. At the same time, modernization, automation and digitalization are taking place. These two processes are having a major impact on working conditions in the waste management sector. Yet, we know surprisingly little about the working conditions or training needs of the workers who collect, sort and distribute waste. This is despite the fact that we are so dependent on these workers for the achievement of the EU targets. Talking about waste collection needs to raise the issue of public perception and structural challenges such as labor shortages and low wages as well.
The waste collection sector is currently under strong pressure to meet EU policy target aimed at improving the circular economy model by increasing reuse and recycling practice, particularly in relation to packaging and electronic products, as well as the landfill and shipment of the problematic waste outside of the EU. By 2030, 60% of everyday waste collected and treated by municipalities must be reused or recycled according to EU targets. Under the EU Landfill Directive, EU countries must also reduce the amount of municipal waste going to the landfill to 10% or less of the total municipal waste generated by 2035. Those targets alone show the scale of the challenge. It will not be easy for the country of Central and Eastern Europe to meet those targets. To achieve them, we need people who are educated, motivated and aware of the task ahead. All the more reason to focus on the working condition, job stability, development of career path for employees of the public and the public perception of the sector. One gets the impression that public policy are aimed at raising consumer awareness, which is obviously important, but they should also recognize the need to make working in the sector more attractive. Moreover, in all countries covered by CEECAW research project, revealed problem with the labor shortages, which has been recently tackled partly by attracting migrant workers to the sector. One of the key challenges from the perspective of workers also ensure health and safety regulation at the workplace. In particular, climate change and the increasing problem of the working in high temperature must be taken into account.
Articulation of collective interest of the waste sector workers in the Central and Eastern Europe was one of the key objectives of the CEECAW project. Therefore, our experts identified the following challenges.
I would like to say that the level of unionization of collective bargaining in the waste management in Europe has always been rather low, not only in Central and Eastern Europe. And there is a sector with high staff turnover rates and with a lot of level of migrant workers or workers from Roma origin, like in Eastern Europe. And there are very weak employers' organizations in the sector. And this is one of the reasons why the labor relations, the collective actions are very poor. And there is a particular importance to do this bargaining in relation with the green agenda and to shape employment relations, especially at company level. Because sometimes sector of bargaining are either non-existent, either very weak in Central and Eastern Europe, as it's shown by our study in this project CEECAW. And actually also trade unions are not very well organized, and the trade unions should put attention to these organizing efforts among workers and to find ways to represent better workers' interests. And that's why the European Commission is putting emphasis on strengthening the social dialogue, strengthening the capacity of social partners.
Waste management sector is one of the least studied sectors in the context of collective labor relations, despite the fact that it is currently under strong pressure of greening and digitalization policies. You can learn more about challenges encountered by the workers from our comparative analytical report.